I guess, I don't know, I think the importance of like DIY in my life is just like being able to fully control whatever I'm doing artistically or creatively.
We don't know how a lot of stuff works, so we're kind of finding our own way around like recording.
Before DIY also I felt like was limited to like smaller scenes of music. What's really cool about being a musician now is I just have a laptop and I can write all this music, and I think that's the most enabling thing for a musician.
It 100% is this like friendship, this new relationship that you have with all of these people that have the same goal, but that feeling is different between every person that you ask.
When I got into college is when I first started to listen to more DIY stuff and local bands, because I wasn't really exposed to it as much. Coming from a small town, once I got to Ann Arbor, the scene really opened up, which is really cool.
So I'm from Vermont, and the reason I got into music and I started playing music was due to my best friend Keegan. He was really into music. He was taking a lot of guitar lessons. He's super proficient at that. His dad's really into collecting records and does a radio show, and just has they both have a lot of knowledge about music.
I really liked Christian metalcore, and so I was 14 or high school age.
We both go to Belleville High School, and there aren't a lot of people who listen to the kind of stuff that we do.
I got dragged to shows by my friends in a great way, not against my will, but so I think I was a part of it as an audience member first, and then now that I'm in college, I became involved on the other side of that.
Yeah, Vermont had absolutely no music scene at all. Really? No, it was pretty much just Grateful Dead cover bands and jam bands.
My two friends at school who were older than me, and they liked cool music, so I was okay, these guys are cool, I'm gonna listen to whatever they listen to.
We'd be playing Nirvana songs really poorly without a drummer, and that kind of developed into several very bad bands. A lot of it was just a lot of me learning. I feel like I've obtained a lot of the skills that I've gotten from my friends and from playing with them. I was involved in this singer-songwriting club on campus, run by this guy named Dan Rodak, and he was putting on a singer-songwriter showcase at the local venue Blind Pig. At this point, I was playing a lot of Bonzo songs by myself on my guitar, just things I was writing and working on my own. And I thought, oh hey, maybe it would be cool to do these songs with a full band. And I came back from Thanksgiving break, and I said to Chun and Mac that we should record an album. So me and Chun didn't go to class. Mac went to class, I think, but me and Chun didn't go to class for 3 days in a row. I decided at a certain point that the demos I had been recording would be good enough to constitute what we call an album. So it was not a live recorded album like the first one. All the live tracks were just guitar and vocals, everything else was programmed. So it was a little bit different release, but it gives us the opportunity to have a much different live show and still have a very definitive sound to us, but something that's very different from our recorded tracks.
think if there's one thing, it's just that everyone wants to like do something that's not already happening, you know? So it's just filling that void, or maybe adding to something that's already there if there's not necessarily a void, right? But like that initial impetus to like have live music, have people come, kind of build that whole community that surrounds it.
We make ourselves way too busy with the musical projects we're involved in, to the point where sometimes like we can't even keep up with it, just as far as like practicing and like shows and things goes. But it's like that's the way we like to do things, and like we like to be involved as as musically possible as we can. Like we like to do a lot of stuff.
The people that attend, it's like you're going out and supporting, whether it's just with your attention or with your money, and it's like, I mean, where would it all be without that, right? Like as a musician, you're playing a show ideally to play for some type of audience, right?
When you go to a show, you automatically have this feeling when you're in the room and the band starts playing, whether that makes you feel joy or happiness, or it's like a very cathartic experience of getting your emotions out or feeling other people's. But I always tell people that when I go to a show, if I haven't left with that prickly feeling behind my eyes, like I'm about to cry, then it wasn't a good show.
The way that like the crowd and the music and like the musicians and like the technical stuff and the venue, like how that all comes together is also, it's always a unique experience. You know, you could have the same lineup at the same venue on like a similar night or whatever, and have two completely different shows, right?
I wanna be so moved by a piece of music that I stand there that I'm just like, you know, like I get it. I get what they're trying to do, and I understand it fully.
I know a lot of the people who are like in the bands or like at the shows, and I think that like makes it really unique. If I'm going to like another town, like, I mean, the music's always really good, and like it's just not like the same though.
I've been involved in the DIY scene in terms of going to shows, hanging out with people, making friends, because that's what I feel like. A lot of it is about the music, but it's about the community. And I've made a lot of my friends through that, and I've found a lot of friends who I can jam with through that.
It's very much just like a thing between friends, and that's something I value a lot.
I think the first time was Vail open mic, and so I just went there, and I don't really do that many open mics, and I hadn't at the time, but I just saw all these people just doing so many different things. I don't know.
The first time I like performed in front of people was at Nakamura Co-op at an open mic, and like I was terrified, and I'm pretty sure I forgot half the lyrics, but people like cheered for me anyways, and like everyone seemed like very excited that I was up there. And I think that like speaks a lot for the community as well, as like everyone's very supportive of you, and like everyone's really supportive of people who like want to try new things and like want to like be a part of the community. Like it's very accepting, and it like gives people the confidence to like go out there and like actually perform. Like, should I like sing? I was like, good gracious, that's this bodacious, flirtatious, trying to hold faces, waiting for the right time to shoot my steam, waiting for the right time to flash my keys. I only do like covers, like I don't write my like own music or anything like that, and I think it's pretty cool like being able to take a song that I like love and make it into something that is like special and like unique and like sounds different, because you know usually I'm taking like, and I really like to take like rap songs and play them on the uke, or like hardcore songs and stuff, just because like they're so different, and I'm transposing them into this like very like frilly I have like really high voice, and like my instrument's really tiny, and I'm like singing, I don't know, like Lotus View or something, and it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. And
I'll invite some of the younger kids at school here to shows that they've never heard of, and you can just tell that they're really excited about it.
We went up to the Metal Frat in like 2013 to see, I think it was the Pity Sex Feast of Love record release show. So it was True Love, Brave Bird, Dads, The World is a Beautiful Place, and Pity Sex. And so we went to that show, and that was kind of our introduction into the whole scene.
Some of the people that come to the shows who I meet who are younger, I see like myself in them, and I'm like, God, it's so awesome that you're like doing this.
The coolest thing is that I think I was 14 when I was there. And so being 14 and being there, nobody was like, what's this 14-year-old doing here? You know, it was just really cool to like, people were like, yeah, you're into this too? And like everybody talked to me like I was a human being and not like a child, you know?
And then we kind of realized like, oh, this is something that we really want to be involved with. And we recently, over the summer, played there, and that was it was very surreal to play on the other side of the room, where we kind of realized that the scene was something we wanted to be involved with.
When I look back on our shows, I think of all of the friends that I get to see from around the world that I don't get to see that often, that I've met through music, because it really is something that brings people together. And then B, I think of strangers that I've met who are like younger, who I've like asked them about their lives, or they've like told me about their lives or whatever it is, who are really into this one song that they'll talk to me about, and I'm like, that means the world to me, that some like person I've never met before is interested and affected by something that I was like obviously affected by.
Me and Gavin have been playing music together for a really long time. Like, we were in middle school, he would like hit me up on Facebook and be like, hey, I hear you play guitar. Like, let's play something. So the beginning of Silent Films was kind of around like early 2014, like January, February. We're both in the jazz band at our school, and I was handed like a chord sheet that I didn't need, so Gavin took it and he's like learning all these jazz chords, and he's like, oh, we should use these.
Like when we're not playing in Ann Arbor, there's like, it's definitely not as much of a community. Like we played at like the Yaga House, and like, I mean, there's like a really great community there, but I wasn't feeling it as much as like when I'm seeing shows at like, you know, 907 Lincoln. The thing is I feel like everybody who goes and sees shows and plays shows in that Ann Arbor area, they're all friends. Like, I mean, that's really what it is. It's just like, you know, everybody has that same love for the same kind of music, so it's all friendly. Being on stage it's a lot more like, it's tense. It's a little more, like, I mean, I definitely, like, I get a little anxious about it before every show, and being a spectator, I know that I'm just there just to have fun, and like, I just get to see like all these people play, and then I find often, like, after I go see a show, it's like, dang, I wish I could have played that show. Like, that's what it is. It really just makes me want to play more shows.
So when people come to shows and they see people that they know on stage, that really sparks something to show them that they can do the same thing.
Because like it just seems like it's like possible, you know? Like when you see a music show at someone's house, and if you're like a musician that's been wanting to play shows, maybe you're like, why don't I just do a show at my house, you know? You just kind of see all these things where you're like, I never would have thought about doing that, and you can like talk to them about it.
All right, we're gonna do another intermission after this, but first I'm gonna need your help. I don't do call and responses ever except for one song, and it is my favorite song. So, after me, you're gonna have to repeat it. Ready? I need this whole room. 1, 2, 3. Don't smoke weed cause I get too nervous.
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 Broccoli is a musician, and he creates characters that then perform at these shows, and each character is some sort of representation of a certain type of person or a certain idea that Broccoli has been thinking about. And
the characters in Broccoli exist independently of one another, but in this really weird way where there's some kind of bleed over. So the first performances he did were at open mics and at, performance art events and things like that. So it wasn't originally a musical project, but kind of through the supportive atmosphere that kind of is a part of the DIY scene around here specifically, there's just a lot of opportunity for new artists to have chances to play, have chances to try out new things, work on new music. So yeah, I mean, I would say that something like this wouldn't be possible without everything that's going on around Ann Arbor.
Everyone in the crowd do beatboxing. I'm gonna call out the lead of Monogamy, Don Lyons. Get out here. Get out here. Get out here right now, Don. You're making a beat with your mouth and I'm gonna rap to it. Alright, and I'm gonna turn this fucking little art show into a rap show for a second, so get fucking hyped because we're about to get big. Young motherfucker with a little bit of cash, like shine on my mind, give them all whiplash, like grind on my mind, trying to get rich fast, and I'm high all the time, hoping this shit lasts, like who am I kidding, I'm a real young boy, riding the horizon, reading Sigmund Freud, dreaming of the meaning of an endless choice, and I'm leading all my meanings like a king vice boy.
I think there's always, with my limited experience in Ann Arbor, there seems to always be a certain core of people that are kind of pushing things and making events happen by the way of like their core group of friends.
And I really think that for Ann Arbor, it's very transient.
There's always a quick turnover of students like in a university city like Ann Arbor because people are here for 4 years, maybe sometimes a little bit more, maybe sometimes a little bit less.
It can be its downfall, but it also can be very cool because you have new ideas constantly. So nothing stays stagnant.
It's so like spatially centered. It's here on campus, walking to venues, like you're right in the middle of it here.
I really want, and like anywhere that I would be a part of or involved in, I would really want there to be a space for younger kids to get involved and make it their own, because it should be their own. They're the people. Like, I'm old and like did that, and I'm totally happy to like maintain my involvement, but I think it's like a space for somebody who's younger and has more time and devotion to come in and make it theirs, because that's their spot. It's their time. I had my time, I almost feel like. So it would be kind of selfish for me to continue to try and make DIY in Ann Arbor the way I feel like it should be. You know what I mean?
And I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be here. And I don't know how tied I'm going to be to this community. Even in the next 6 months, the next year, I don't know what's going to happen. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. But I hope I don't get too disconnected from it, because I really like it.
Right now it's just like an open slate, and there's like a lot we can do, so I'm just looking forward to that.
Our band, Two Face, we try to do electronic, catchy music. So we wouldn't fit any DIY kind of music scene. But I see it as we record our own music, we run our own social media, we do all the little processes by ourselves.
I think that being involved in this like music making process and like playing it for people and like being part of like every step has given me like more confidence when it comes to music.
I like being able to write music that people can maybe relate to, or people can like just listen and reach a lot of people.
I think having like this atmosphere, this idea that like people are welcoming you into their space, not just that they're a space that like puts on this service of having shows. Like if it's a house show or a DIY space, like these people are like taking it upon themselves and like putting in quality effort to like
make this a place where you can be comfortable, make this a place where you can enjoy music?
I work behind the scenes. I do a lot of organization of events. So I reach out and contact people. Day of show setups, I run the door, handle some money, you know, kind of make sure that the operation goes smoothly. I really think I was pulled in by friends and then found out that, you know, I have these talents that can be used to help them and do what they want to do. And then it kind of all snowballs from there. I've realized the power that I have to do all of these great things. Like, I don't need someone to necessarily introduce me to someone, or I don't need someone else to kickstart all of these things for me. Like, I can do it, and I'm gonna need help, but I can start it and I can do it because I have this vision of what I want to see or what I want to hear, and I can do something with that or about it and make it happen. With someone who's maybe been playing in their bedroom for years and then gets on a show or decides they want to do something with their art, and you see that expand, to me is personally very fulfilling.
So I met everyone in Pity Sex because their old band played in my basement. We were all kind of standoffish because nobody said anything to the other. They were like outsiders in Grand Rapids, and I was not sure who, I didn't know their names or anything. I was just like, come play my house. It's fun. And then we went out to eat together after the show and like actually became friends and got acquainted and like broke the ice, I guess. They were like, do you want to join? And I was like, sure, why not? I have nothing else. I don't have a band here anymore because I had mine in Grand Rapids. But we wrote Dark World in our basement together, in our really disgusting basement that's filled with asbestos. Definitely breathed in some asbestos down there while in the making of. But we would just go down there and practice together because we lived together. So it was like after work or after I got off of class, we would just go down there and practice, and it was really fun. And we didn't expect for there to be any success whatsoever. Like, it was not something that we were like planning on doing even part-time. It was going to be like our fun thing that we do together and play shows randomly. We're just totally fine to still just play the shows and get the experience.
The first 4 or 5 months that I was in Ann Arbor, like I had no idea shows were happening. Like I didn't know there was any sort of music scene. Like I was just playing guitar by myself in my dorm.
It's hard to kind of break into this bubble, even though I talk about it being a DIY scene and how much of a community it is and this camaraderie, but I think it is a little exclusive.
And once I found out about a scene happening here, it was a little difficult to get into because you're coming into this space where everyone's so familiar with each other, where everyone's like so connected with these bands, like they know who's on tour in this place, like who's putting out new releases and etc.
Because we're all friends with each other. So it's kind of like, you know, breaking into a new friend group. How are you gonna do that? Sometimes it's really, really difficult. I do think that this scene is very male-dominated, but in recent years, I do think I've seen a lot more females getting involved.
It's just like a really good social platform is like music. You can like write a whole album about, you know, like smashing the patriarchy or something like that.
It is very liberating to be able to go to these shows and do these things and not give a fuck about it because you like it, and you want to be there and you want to be involved because that's your thing and that's what you like. And you know, women shouldn't be afraid of that because it's been male-dominated for so long.
Like, I feel like a lot of spaces in our society now aren't that accepting, and it's really hard to like be yourself in like the normal world. And I guess
it's a place where people can come and hopefully feel like they're themselves, because that's the whole point. We want people to feel comfortable and welcomed, and if they don't, this is my invitation. So please come and hang out.
static state. Go away, go away. I'd like to feel a little conscious by the end of the day. I tend to feel a little nauseous when you're slipping away.
When I think back on like when I went to my first show or my second show or my 100th show, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be involved in this. And it's really nice. You are watching somebody who's on the floor, like playing same level as you. And it's like you're a part of it.
You can just add all these little like personal flares to it, and like it's like your baby, like you can just make anything you want.
Because it is artist-centric, and that's what we want. We want the art. It's not about the money. It's not about the recognition or the fame or whatever you want to call it. You're working towards the art.
Right out of my mouth.